Hello there and welcome back to the Chap's Guide. My name is Ash and I am your host on this journey through men's style, self-development and personal grooming. And today I'm going to offer you 7 tips that can improve your work style. Because when you think of it, we spend upwards of 1/3 of our lives in work. So it is important that we use every opportunity, even that of style, to improve our situation. And if we do so, it can help us get ahead. If we give a great impression to our co-workers, our bosses, our subordinates, this is going to improve the outcomes of many of the things that we touch in our professional lives. It might lead to improved situations with clients, or it might have job advancement opportunities because you look more professional, more capable, more trustworthy. And from our point of view, as the individual ourselves, I know that when we look good, we feel good, and we perform better. It can have amazing outcomes to your personal confidence too. So, I've got 7 tips for you today that'll give you a chance of getting ahead by improving your work style. Okay, so my first tip for you is something simple, and that's to break away from the grey. Because I'm guessing if you work in a typical office and you looked at your co-workers, many of them will be clad in that corporate uniform, which seems to be the sort of go-to outfit choice for all men working in business. And that is the grey single-breasted suit. And the chances are they're going to be wearing a cheap wool polyester blend suit as well, which once it's a few months old, it's going to take on that awful shiny look of a suit, and far from looking like a positive attribute to your appearance, it's going to make you look as if you're devoid of personal choice and expression, because those grey colours, they just leach away from any man's sort of sense of self-worth. But it doesn't have to be that way. You do not have to opt for the corporate uniform. You can choose other colours, all right? It doesn't have to be grey or the other so chosen choice, which is navy blue. Pick something different. Today I am wearing a sort of forest green linen jacket. It's an ideal blazer, an option to wear instead of grey, because it injects some element of my personality. Or even, if you're not comfortable with perhaps unusual colours, why not try something with texture, colour, and a little bit of pattern as well? The perfect choice for the modern gentleman: tweed. Okay, tweed, often overlooked in the modern era, but it's the perfect choice because it's conventional, it's conservative, but it has character too. Remember, it was good enough for pretty much every James Bond who's ever played the role. They've always had Bond dressed up in tweed, so it can be the perfect choice for you to break away from that corporate grey mundanity. Break that mould. Set your own path, choose a different colour, and if you're not comfortable with that, try tweed. So many different options out there in the tweed world. Show your personality in your clothing. Okay chaps, I hear what you're saying. Perhaps you don't feel comfortable with tweed or an unusual colour on your suit. What can you do instead? Well, I'll tell you how you can break away from that formal uniform of the single-breasted suit. Double down. Try a double-breasted suit. You'll be amazed of the style bump that you can achieve simply by having a differently cut jacket. Because the double-breasted suit, it's true, it does lend an air of formality to your jacket. It can make you look a lot more stylish. It sort of traces its history back into military uniform, and that can be seen in the positivity that it has for your style. A double-breasted jacket gives you absolutely more formality, but it does so by adding more shape to your silhouette. It hugs the torso better. It can definitely slim down the lines of your suit and the way that it drapes. And it can certainly make you look more self-assured, no formal. In short, it makes you look like a boss. And if that's what you want to achieve, if you want to stand out from the crowd, if you want to look different, if you want your corporate uniform to be that of a leader, not a follower, double down. Go for a double-breasted jacket. Now my next tip to improve your work style, very simply, is to go pink. Because I know if you go into that office and you look around at the other men in the room, pretty much all of them will be wearing a white shirt or a light blue shirt, or maybe a white shirt with light blue stripes or a light blue shirt with white stripes. It's the way that everybody dresses. It's conformity. Everybody fits in. But you can break the mold by doing something as simple as choosing a very traditional colour, pink, and adding it to your clothing. And you can really benefit from the style bump which comes from pink, because pink, it pretty much goes with every other colour. Whether you're wearing a grey suit, a green suit, a navy blue suit, pink absolutely complements those colours. It's a wonderful neutral, yet it has personality. It says something about you. It displays a little bit of your character. And I know what you're afraid of. You think people will see pink and they will perceive you to be in some way less masculine. Absolutely not at all. Let me re-educate you. Pink, for the most time, has always been a colour associated with men. It is only in the 1950s that pink kind of became identified with females. Up to that point, pink, and most predominantly the colour red, the substantive colour of pink, obviously, has been the masculine colour, the man's colour. So if anybody ever says to you, "Oh God, what are you wearing pink for? It's a bit girly, isn't it?" Absolutely not. It is a man's colour, and it is a colour that you can use, you can leverage to make your clothing look more characterful, more personality driven, and it can make you look so much better. So, to break from the mould, think pink. Okay, now if we're talking about breaking away from that corporate mundanity of the uniform of grey, there's one item of our clothing which plays a big part, and that's our shoes, our footwear. Because we know, right, research tells us when it comes to men's style that your shoes play a big determining factor in the way that people will draw a conclusion about the sort of person you are. And if I was to walk into most office workplaces, you will see most men wearing the black cap-toe Oxford, that most uniform of all men's shoes. Now, I'm not decrying the black cap-toe Oxford. It's a great shoe, good for pretty much every situation, from formal to, business informal. But it says nothing about you. There's no personality in a black cap-toe Oxford. However, you can substitute it for something else which will utterly change the way that you look while still remaining totally business formal. For me, I choose a burgundy or an oxblood semi-brogue, or even a brogue, a full brogue, because there's a lot more character in that colour and in that style of shoe. There's a lot more of your personality reflected in a shoe which has pattern, which has texture, and which has colour. Now, whilst the black cap-toe Oxford is wonderful for shining up, you can get a wonderful mirror shine on them, but it's not quite the same as bringing some of your personality over into that shoe. Burgundy is a great colour because it goes universally with everything. Whether you're wearing grey, navy blue, or any permeation of one of those colours, whether you're wearing sort of green, beige, any of the brown colours, all of the tweeds, burgundy or oxblood will definitely, the reds, the reddy colour of that, will so easily mix and match with other elements of your suit, your clothing, but it will bring an injection of much needed colour. And when you're in a room full of other men and they're all wearing the black cap-toe Oxford, well, if you're wearing that semi-brogue or the brogue in burgundy, you're going to look very different. And if you want to go nuts, you can look at some of the more avant-garde shoes. A monk strap, a double monk strap. If you really want to stand out from the crowd, you can choose something which is formal yet readily transferable into the business world. So don't just think bland. Step away from the black cap-toe Oxford and choose something a little bit more personality driven. Alright chaps, my next tip for improving your work style is what you wear to work and home from work, and that is your outer garment. What I say to you is ditch the parka and choose something with more elegance and more class. Because, you know, the way that you're perceived, often when people first meet you, particularly if it's outdoors, your business takes you outdoors, or you're walking into the office every day, your outer garment will definitely be seen by others, and they will use that to draw certain inferences about the sort of person you are. So if you're wearing, you know, that surplus army parka that you've had for decades, or a Gore-Tex performance garment, which you wear on the weekends as well, well, it's not going to say a great deal about your class and your elegance. What I suggest you do is make an investment in a quality overcoat, possibly something which is woolen or made of cashmere, or a blend therein of those two different materials. It will look fantastic. It will look great for decades, and it can be accessorized. You know, you can make a charcoal grey overcoat look great by adding a lovely coloured woolen scarf, something with texture, with pattern. You can wear a hat with it. Look how much more dashing a hat can make any gentleman on his journey to work each day. Now, I get it, you know, you think that the overcoat looks a bit too Cary Grant. It's not your style. Well, there's a halfway house. The pea coat, a great option. It's got 75% of the positives of your overcoat, yet it still is a garment that you can press into service when you're not in work. It looks great with a pair of jeans. It looks great with chinos. As I say, it's almost an overcoat, but not quite. You get all of the benefits, but none of the negatives perhaps which may be associated with having an extremely formal garment. So ditch the parka and choose something which will give you a style bump amongst your colleagues on your journey in and your journey home from work each day. Now, gentlemen, my next tip to improve your work style is to go analog. Because I tell you now, when I go to meetings and I see people tapping in notes into their mobile phone or onto their tablet, it doesn't convey the same level of elegance to me that it does when I see a gentleman draw out of his pocket a fountain pen, open it up, get his nice quality notebook out and making notes in there. There is something stylish about seeing a man writing using a pen and ink on paper. There is something which conveys permanence, which conveys class in doing that over tapping in notes into a tablet computer. And for me, this is the way that I always capture notes. I've always got a notebook near to hand, and I choose a fountain pen because I like to do quality cursive handwriting. It's cathartic. There's something about writing notes with pen on paper which really just connects me to the information that I am capturing onto that paper. It really does make a difference. And I know it causes an impact on the people I meet, because people, when they see me in a meeting making notes, how many times people have said to me, "That's a lovely fountain pen. Why do you write like that?" And then it ends up having a conversation. So the analog way of writing, of capturing your thoughts and notes, is definitely the way to go. It sets an impression amongst those around you that you are a person who's prepared. You've brought a pen, you've got a notebook, and when you're writing in that notebook, the information you're writing is definitely in there. It's captured, it's permanent. There's a feeling which is very different to typing something into a text or, you know, the notes app on your mobile phone. Not quite the same, doesn't convey the same impression to others. So go analog, gents, to make your style go up a notch with your colleagues and co-workers. Now, chaps, my final suggestion for improving your work style is ditch the backpack. Because for me, a backpack is something which I use when I'm trekking across the moors on a walk out in the countryside. It's not something which I take into the workplace to convey something about my personal image to people. And to be honest, I mean, particularly with a backpack, if you're used to wearing a suit every day, slinging a heavy backpack over your shoulder is not going to do wonders for the drape of your suit or the integrity of the suit's shoulders that you're wearing. I alternatively choose either a leather briefcase in the summer months when I don't carry quite so much stuff, or in the winter months, or if I'm going somewhere where I need to carry a lot more of my things, I choose a leather valise. I always choose leather because leather is classy, it's elegant, it's got that texture, that patina, which gets better with the passing of time. And not only that, that it also lasts awfully lot longer than other materials too. It conveys a lot more about you, your style, your elegance, and what you stand for, rather than that canvas messenger bag that you sling over your shoulder and you just blend into the other crowd who are commuting back and forth and work on the train or on the bus or wherever it may be. Choose a leather briefcase or a leather valise or a hold-all. It's going to look so much better. It's going to make you stand out. And ultimately, that's what we're trying to do today. Stand out from the crowd and improve your work style. So chaps, there we go. Those were my 7 tips which should help improve your work style, make you stand out from the crowd, make you rise above your peers and be that person of distinction within the crowd. That's all we can hope for. That's how we leverage style to positive effect in our lives on our journey towards Chap Nirvana. Now, if I've forgotten anything which you think could be useful, drop it in the comments below. Share it with the community. If you've enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up. If you like what we're doing here at the channel, you know the drill. Click the red button. Come on the journey with us as a subscriber. And if you'd like to practically support the channel and help me improve the content I deliver to you chaps every week, you can buy me a coffee. You will find a link to the Buy Me a Coffee page in the show notes below. So, until the next time, take care of yourselves, use some of these tips to improve your work style, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon.